Yeah, y'all, since we on this channel, we can play anything we want to. But it wouldn't be the Brother Derrick show without. Wouldn't be the Brother Derrick show without one of my homemade songs. Let's get to it.
I got one question for you.
I hope y'all ready.
Hallelujah. Amen. Are you born again? You never know when you will descend on the white cloud. It's the same. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Amen. Hey, are you born again? Are you made of the Messiah to the symbol of the white? Are you on the page of Jesus gave you by faith, not so by action? When you meet a sacrifice, not by action. Not what rituals are out of habit. God is offering you a brand new thing out. Giving you a second chance. That's why Jesus died. Was crucified. Everybody around the door. I said to the word, come level to God again. And can receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. Ignore the desire of your flesh. You can hear it. You can feel it. Don't be foolish unless they can steal it. You can't do anything that God can't take, that God can't heal. Don't turn your back on this one the right time to live. If this man thinks to the sin, but God will forgive. If you're born again, amen, amen. Are you born again? You don't know if you do with a on the white cloud in your face. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Here we go. I get born again. While you were slave to sin, it's not enough to want to change your ways. If you have to change, right, you want to repent. But you know you take a step going on to how to do body. You know, I get my mother. You think God is not listening? I'm aware you get dirty. You think God is dirty. What do you think you're playing this off? Acting good as things, but I fool everywhere else. The devil tempts you. God understands. You believe he'll offer it, man, and help you get the results you need for what you want. Don't be deceived by Satan. He's a liar. He will fill your desires and use it to wake up fire and motion in hell. That's what the Lord is for. So I think to every boy and girl, get close to God. Pray every day and then Jesus help you change your ways. See, I believe, amen. That's how I know I'm born again.
And I'm asking you.
I get born again. You never know when you supposed to sin on the white cloud. Say it loud.
I'm proud. I'm born again. I'm born again.
Come on. So, man, can never try to be perfect, but we can try to attain or maintain a certain level of right and wrong, of balance. The devil counts everything to lead us in the wrong way. God knows this, so I love you to this own son. So lean on Jesus. Don't listen to you, how much you ever have.
I'd rather face the devil than to love grass.
Remember, Job, baby, this words to be more tears on you with faith for gold. Not because of the deeds,
but because Job believed.
Was willing to be tested. He felt comfort, even under the word practice. Children by God's love and protection. I'm just a message to him on what
He said your desire is your choice. You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner?
I'm asking the question.
Are you born again?
Do you know what you want to say on the white card?
If you say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. You want to be a sinner or a winner? I'm asking a question. Are you born again? You never know when Jesus supposed to send on the white cloud. You say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Hey, Nia, let me give a shout out to God. Let me give one for Jesus. We can't forget the Holy Spirit. Come on. Come on and sit at God's throne. Or you can rot in hell with the devil. That's up to you. I can't make that decision for you.
I can't make that decision for you. God loves you so much, He won't make that decision for you.
Are you born again? You never know when Jesus was to sin on the white cloud to save. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner?
Try to get them on the right path.
You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner?
Faith, not by works. Judge by faith, not by works. Believe in Jesus. How to live like Him. You'll be all right. Go there, bro.
What's going on, the driver?
I'm out.
All right, y'all. My Sunday sermon has been changed a little bit now. We were going to talk about one thing, but let's go back to the beginning. I didn't come online yesterday because I couldn't. I literally could not come online. The cell phone tower went down for Metro PCS. 2 phones here, 2 lines unlimited, both of them dead. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't browse, couldn't make phone calls, nothing. I watched regular TV. I had to break out the daggone rabbit ears and watch regular TV. So we got took out the equation. So I wake up today and we back. So I had set up a show where I was going to talk about that. Us getting knocked down. The tower being out. And I noticed that Saneter was on. And it said something about he getting at everybody. So like a dummy, I clicked the button and I watched it. And you got Saneter who claimed that he out of retirement. He's going around attacking the Bible. But he's attacking discrepancies in the Bible. Which is nothing new. Because guess what? Brother DERRICK used to challenge discrepancies in the Bible. I used to go and annoy the heck out of pastors, preachers. I used to ignore the heck out of them. I would just hit them. Finally, a female pastor. Now listen, remember now, females not supposed to be pastors. A female pastor heard what I said, and instead of her getting flustered, she went and pulled out the big Bible. This Bible was like this big, I got done. And it had every translation of every possible word for every language of that day. And when we went and looked at the different languages, the way it's translated in English is not the way it was said back then. A lot of the scriptures that you read have been translated for you. Sometimes the words get lost. You got a King James version, you got this version, the New Life version, every time you got a new version, somebody that's writing it is changing what the meanings are. Oh, the grid went down in New York City? That's what it was? Yeah, I didn't have I had nothing. I wanted to come live yesterday. I got some videos ready and stuff. We were going to have a Saturday night videos and family food, but we couldn't do nothing. We were totally knocked out the game. Now, when I had brought her these scriptures to cross her up, we went and looked them up. And as we looked them up, there were different translations. And the other translations made sense. Ours didn't. Our New Life version and our King James version didn't make sense. But in the other languages translated, it made sense. So whoever wrote the Bible, you got to take that into account. Also, people keep saying that God wrote the Bible. No, God did not. God inspired man to write. And inspiration is not a direct translation. God can tell you write this, but he's not going to tell you how to write it. You're going to use your own interpretation. Several times when you're reading somebody transcribing something, you'll hear them say in their own words, this seemed to me to be that way. This seemed to me to be a horse with lions, and somebody else can be given that same vision and say something totally different. We have proof of that because we got 4 gospels, 4 different men. All the gospels do not say the same thing because the same man did not write them. And this is the part where the contradictions start to fall away. I've told y'all several times. When I was growing up, one of my favorite shows was Three's Company. We sitting there, me and my family watching Three's Company. I'm noticing. The other family members ain't noticing. But they telling me to shut up. They watching TV. Shut up. I'm asking, why? Why is it that they live in that nice area on the beach and their rent was $300 back in the 70s? You can't get nothing for $300 unless you're doing public housing. You can't get nothing for $300 on the beach. Nah. So they had a nice area. They left their door open every episode. Go watch it. Any episode. They leave out the house and leave the door wide open. They ain't never got robbed. The only time they got robbed was when Mr. Furley came by and saw the envelope that said rent. And he took it. And they spent the whole episode all scared. We're going to get put out. Our rent money stolen. Call the police and everything. That's the only time they ever been robbed. Nobody else noticed that. Why? Because I'm always thinking about safety and security. Somebody else wouldn't notice. So you got 4 people that's writing the Bible. Right? John, Matthew, Luke, and Mark. What Matthew care about, John might not care about. What Luke care about, nobody else might not care about. But you got 4 different versions of the same story. Not all wrote at the same time. And you start looking for imperfections and differences. Luke might be focusing more on the birth of Jesus. John might be focusing on the fact that Jesus is the worker for God. And he does a lot of the things that are attributed to God. Jesus did that work. Another person might be more interested in the birth and might give you more detail than the other 3. Some people, one of the 4, might be more interested in the teachings and how his teachings reflect what's going on. Somebody else might be more in tune to setting up, he is the Son of God. They might spend more time on that. Some people might spend more time on him dying for our sins. You got 4 different people. How are they all going to say the same thing? Some people, not everybody mentioned Jesus coming back in the story about the holes and being a doubting Thomas. Only one person wrote that down, but it happened. It wasn't important to the other 3. So you, 2,500 years later, trying to go back and say, well, they said this, but they didn't say that. They didn't have no Bible to go back and look at each other and say, you know what, Luke, you should tighten up on that. Matthew, you didn't go into that enough. Because what are they focusing on? As each man is writing this after it happened, what stood out in their mind? That's why you got 4 different versions. Between the 4, you get the whole story. One person might have more details on one thing. Another person might not care as much about that thing. So stop trying to compare the 4, looking for contradictions. Just because all 4 were there, one person might have forgot something. Might not remember something. And might have left it out. You know what? How come Matthew don't say nothing about that? The other 3 mentioned it, but do you understand what I'm saying? You're getting too literal. Start trying to figure out what's wrong and look at what's right. Now, there are some contradictions. And there's no denying that. But we can find contradiction in anything. We can take out the United States Constitution and find about 50 million contradictions in it. What's your point? But I give you something I used to get the teachers and the preachers with. I used to get put out the daggone class. Same way I got put out the chat today. I used to ask, if you got Adam, Eve, you got Abel and Cain, right? So you got 4 people on earth. The mother and father, Adam and Eve, you got the 2 sons, right? If Cain killed Abel, and Cain is sent away, and he goes and starts the Canaanites, which was another problem right there. If it's only them 4 in the world, how did he go get a wife? How did Cain go get a wife and become a Canaanite if they were the only people in the world, right? The next child is Seth. Who does Seth marry and continue on lineage? Crossed up every pastor, every reverend around here with that. That same lady broke that big book out. When we look at the book, we realize, guess what? Women were not accounted for in the Bible. It was Adam and Eve. So Eve had to be there because it was Adam and Eve. They had brothers and sisters. Some of them left the camp. But you don't see that in the Bible. Even when you look at the male lineage, unless the woman did something great like Ruth, they weren't mentioned. So there were other people. They just weren't being mentioned because they wasn't important to the story. They didn't do anything extraordinary. They weren't mentioned. Because they didn't give birth to a girl in the Bible. So who did Seth marry? How does Seth continue on the lineage if there was nobody? He was the only child. Would he sleep with Eve? So there had to be girls there, but the girls were insignificant. If you look at any lineage, very seldom do you see a woman mentioned unless she did something great. Unless she was great, you very seldom hear her mentioned. Even in the story of Noah, he brought his kids and their families onto the ark. Any names there? You don't get names until you get later on in the lineage when they actually listed. So if you weren't significant, you didn't get mentioned, pretty much. And people forget that. Well, I only see 2 people here, so how the heck? Because you're not using your imagination and your common sense. You're trying to use devil-inspired strategies. And this is what Saneter is doing right now. He's saying this information is for the people and Black Power family. In actuality, he's trying to divide the people. He's trying to get the people to fight. I've been saying for years, we need one religion to get everybody on the same page. We need one religion. If y'all look back at my early videos, I mentioned the Israelites. Do I think it's a polished religion? No. But it could give our youth something to cling to and have pride in, and maybe stop being so daggone ratchet. Yeah, the driver, but there's no sister mentioned. And that's where I stumped the men at. But I couldn't stump the woman because the woman probably knew that they weren't given credit for what they did. They weren't mentioned. Think about it. Most of the women in the Bible, what are they known for? Getting men to do things God don't like or having children. What else are they known for? Except for Ruth. Ruth, even Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. The woman at the well, she had 5 husbands. Only Mary, Ruth, Mary Magdalene rose above the prostitution thing. Remember when she poured the expensive perfume on Jesus' head? One of the disciples said, we could have sold that and gave that money to the poor. Jesus said, you leave her alone. You'll always have the poor, but you'll only have me for a short while longer. Let her take care of me while I'm here. And sure enough, it's in the Gospels. The woman that gave the 2 pieces of copper penny she had, everybody else was throwing in that extra. Yeah, man, I'm going to put me a gold piece in here. I'm going to put 10 silver pieces in here because I'm doing so well. He said, the old widow who put those 2 copper pennies, she gave more than anybody else did because she gave all she had. She was in an example. Most of the time, the women are not mentioned. You know? The driver said, Robert Daddy, this is my favorite discussion. You did a deep study on this. Well, good. Well, you can help me out with it because there are a lot of contradictions in the Bible. But when you say that, you're not looking at the time, the people, and what was going on. Something might fit that time that don't fit today. Just like it was okay for men to have as many wives as they could afford. Where do you think the harem came from? But that was never God's intent. And St. Paul spent a lot of time reinforcing one man, one woman. A lot of people talk about marriage. We covered that. You don't see marriage in the Old Testament like you see in the New Testament. Why? In the Old Testament, in the old days, when you laid with somebody, you was getting married. You were getting married. And you had to marry, especially the woman. The woman had to be a virgin. And if she was not, she was driven out the village or she was stoned to death on the spot. Depending on how much they loved her. And would no man, no good man, be with her. Notice what I said. Would no good man be with her. That's where we get the prostitutes from. Because a good woman is going to save herself for marriage. And that lasted all the way up till about the 1930s. And that slowly started going away. But if you go back to the old days, little girls had dolls. And they were training to be a housewife. And they were dreaming of the marriage day. After 1930, more women started working. And as time went on, they started asking for bigger rings. They started asking for bigger wedding ceremonies. They started asking for more control in the relationship. And you see where we at today, where 65% of black women will never see marriage. But you see, the doctrines of the Bible, as they get watered down, you now see the result. Whereas 70% of women before 1930 got married, now 70% in our day will never see marriage. You see the doctrines as they get watered down, as you let more and more of what we want to be done in society, we water it down. Now, if back in the biblical days, a man could have as many women as he wanted to, as long as he took care of them. You had to take care of them. You couldn't lay up with a woman and then throw it to the side like we do nowadays. Nowadays, yeah, you a G, man. You got it, and kick it to the curb. Back then, that might cost you everything you got. But they might come take everything you got and give it to her. Because you ruined her life. Don't know what a man want now. Unless you got some nerd. Some nerd that was looking at it from afar. But you cursing that nerd. Because that nerd takes her in, he's at odds with God. You went and tried to clean up somebody else's sin, so now you carrying that sin. And so now them children are going to be carrying that curse. And wondering why won't nothing go right for them. Why everything seems to go wrong no matter what they try and do. I listened to my great-grandmother tell me stories about how my mother used to get her two brothers to beat up my biological father because he was a player. My mother was determined to have fair-skinned kids. She didn't want to have any dark children. And that's sad. And she went through heaven and hell to make sure she always had a man that was a lot lighter than her. But, like I told you, out of the three sisters, she was not the prettiest by a long shot. But she was the only one that kept a man to her death. My other two aunts can't keep a man for more than a daggone year, if that. Lucky, 6 months. I ain't seen some, they ain't last a month. But they were prettier, thin, great bodies, pretty face. They can get a man to look at them. They can get a man to come roll up with them for a couple times. But they can't keep a man to say their life. Hey, what's going on, Tony? So, You got people challenging the contradictions that's in the Bible. But is your contradiction with the translation? Look at the different translations of that same verse and then make your decision. Because there are things that you can pick apart, but you give me anything, I can pick it apart. But tell me where it don't match up. Now, like I said, I explained to you about how you had Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Yet Cain can't kill Abel. Adam and Eve had Seth. Well, who did Seth marry? I ask you again. When Cain got to Canaan, he got a wife. Where'd she come from? So obviously, they had more kids. They lived almost 1,000 years. Obviously, they had more than 3 kids. They just not relevant. And I can imagine, as I drive around my state, I keep seeing the same names on street corners, the same names on a sign, the same names for an area. And I'm asking myself, who are these people? And when I go look them up, everybody knows that George Calvert is Lord Baltimore, and that the king gave him a charter of land for him to come and develop. And out of respect, he called it Mary's Land. They later changed it to Maryland, but it's Mary's Land. Queen Mary. Now, as you go through Maryland, George Calvert is everywhere. Baltimore is everywhere. Mary is everywhere. Queen Anne. The next queen. She got her own county and streets and everything. But you also notice when you look at the kids, see, kids don't stay around their parents. Only when you go down south and you see the big house and then you see the little trailers, those are the kids. They ain't going nowhere. But in the old days, kids didn't want to live right on the same plot with their family. They wanted to go out and do their own thing. And that's how you got the counties filled in, the kids spread out. So I can understand. Not everybody wanted to stay in the garden. They wanted to go do their own thing, especially when they got kicked out. Well, where we at right now, I want to go do this, and this is not working here. I got to go. I'm tired of being up under you, Adam. I want to go do my own thing. So I can understand the kids leaving. Remember now, you got 900 and something years. You want to try and tell me they only had 3 kids in 900 and something years? So that is a contradiction, because the Bible doesn't mention these women. But it does a bad job of mentioning women, period. The driver says, believe or no BD, the way it's supposed to be, the only way you can put your wife away if you find her not to be right. That was the only time you could divorce a woman. If you could find out she wasn't a virgin. Now, most of the time when you have sex with them, I told y'all about the ceremony. See, the ceremony ain't about no ringing, no wedding dressing, walking down the hall. There wasn't no churches back then. You had the village gather together. And everybody came and drank, and the groom's father had to pay the dowry. And the dowry was the price of the bride. So, at naturality, you had these women actually were helping the family out because the groom's father paid something to the father in order to get the daughter. So the daughter was purchased, which is why they didn't have the rights, which is why they aren't mentioned unless they've done something really great. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So a man could have as many wives as he wanted. He could afford. But he had to take care of them. A woman could only have one husband. So when you sleep with that first person, that's your husband. Any other man you go visit is number 2, number 3, number 4. You understand what I'm saying? But you belong to that first person. And you can tell me, I'm a feminist, and that don't matter. That's something that you add. I remember back in the early 90s, late 80s, the women were going around, I'm going to re-virgin myself. I'm going to stop having sex until I get married, even though I ain't slept with 50 men. I'm going to re-virgin myself. Don't work that way, sweetie. Don't work that way. Y'all remember the old stories? Y'all remember, and not that old, but back in the 60s and 70s when you had the All My Children and the One Like to Live? Remember all those times where you had the hero and the heroine, and then you had the villain. And the villain would do things to the hero so that the heroine would have to marry the villain, which she didn't want to do. And they'd be at the church, and you see the hero running at the last minute. No, you can't marry him. You gotta marry me. That's how serious it was. Now, 30 years later, we'll get married, we'll get divorced. We'll get married, we'll get divorced. You had David, who was a king, who had a harem of over 400 women. 400 virgins. But he's looking at his best friend's wife. He ain't let the devil get in his mind. He got 400 virgins. Women he ain't even slept with yet. He worrying about his best friend's wife. His best friend is also his general. He put the general on the front line so he can get killed, and took his wife. You know how sick that is? You got everything. You got more women than you could ever deal with. But you worried about your best friend's woman. And you get to the point where you willing to do anything, even kill him. You don't think there's a punishment for that? Oh, he got his punishment. He died a terrible death. He was cold all the time. And guess what he needed? Women that lay next to him to keep him warm. So he lived for the woman and died with him. There are contradictions in everything. And I find it weird that when he was saying that 3 of the Gospels were saying what Jesus' last words were. And that they're all different. Because one person said he cried out. Somebody else said he cried out twice. And you had one version say what he said, and another version said the second time. Wasn't good enough for you, something that it wasn't. But how do you know what they were doing at that time? How do you know all 4 disciples were standing right there and listening? How do you know somebody wasn't doing something? How do you know somebody wasn't writing something down? How do you know somebody wasn't talking to somebody? How do you know somebody wasn't worried about whether or not the soldiers was going to put them up their necks? You think because he up on the cross, they there on every word. You're not being realistic. Because if I'm standing out there, I'm wondering, they're going to try and put me up there too. I'm watching the soldiers. I'm watching the people that's laughing and saying, get down. Ain't you one of the followers? Maybe we should put you up there too. But you expect them to be word for word. You expect them to be word for word. Remember, Peter followed Jesus after they took him. The other disciples ran away. So Peter told them what happened. As he's telling you what happened, if he get one thing not right in his memory, everybody else is writing down what he said. And I might hear one thing, the next person might hear something else. One person might say, yeah, the people are focusing on the fact that he said he was the Son of God. Somebody else could be focusing, Pilate didn't really want to kill him. Somebody else could be sitting there saying, yeah, he said he was going to tear down the temple. You got 3 different people hearing one story, and they might care about one part of the story. That's why you got 4 versions. You got 4 different people, and they don't all focus on the same thing. I might be trying to set the scriptures up to say that he's the Son of God and proving it. Somebody else might focus on what he's saying and how we can get ready for when he comes back. Somebody else could be focusing on, hey, this man's going around teaching and doing these miracles. Ain't none of them wrong, but what appeals to you? We can sit and watch the same. I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a darn good example. If we all sitting there watching TV and the commercial come on and somebody say, man, that's a sexy woman. One man can say, you know what? She got a nice rack and focus on that. Another man might say she got a nice rump and focus on that. Another man might say she got some nice thighs. Man, there's some thick thighs there. Another man might say she got a pretty face, boy. Another man might say she got pretty eyes and focus on that. Somebody like a World News might say she got some pretty feet. But they all looking at the same thing. Ain't none of them wrong. But what are they focusing on? Because if he start writing about her, he's going to be talking about how perfect her thighs is. Another man going to be talking about how perfect her breast is. Then you're going to say, well, how come you was focusing on her daggone breast and you focusing on her butt and you focusing on her face? Well, which one is it? If they all saying the woman is beautiful, why are you looking for the little things that they might have focused on? to try to discredit the fact that they said she was pretty. You might think she's ugly. Well, I'm going to prove because look, he's talking about her feet and her legs. I'm talking about the whole thing. Her stomach was trash. She had varicose veins. One eye was cross-eyed. Her hair looked like a daggone bush nest. How you going to tell me this is a beautiful woman? You got to take into account what was going on at the time, because the Bible is God inspired. Inspired. Not God wrote. When you look at John in Revelations, he's telling you what he's saying. He's telling you based on what he knows. He's talking about chariots of fire. Today, he could be talking about missiles. To him, a missile is a chariot of fire going across the sky. You got to look at the times. Hey, what's going on, Big Daddy Pop? We only got to go to the 23rd. We got a 2-week suspension. Let me get you your wrench. There you go. Now, the driver, you're right. Some of the book has been removed. The lost books explain a lot of this. I did a show. I'm trying to remember. I think I did it's either in early 18 or late 19. I did a show where I asked. I don't know if I still got it up. But I know I did a show where I asked. King James commissioned, what was it, 30, 40 priests? Locked them in a room and said, take all these scrolls. Remember, they had scrolls. Take all these scrolls, and I want y'all to come back with one Bible. So now, not only do you have the individuals who were inspired to write, God didn't tell them word for word what to write. He just told them to write. So they put their own spin on it. But then you got these 40 priests from all over the world. They deciding what's going to go in the Bible and what's not going to go in the Bible, what's going to stay and what's not going to stay. Why can't black leaders get together? Since they all using the Bible, why can't they get those lost scrolls and do the same thing and make one Bible? You understand what I'm saying? Why can't we do that and make the Bible from our perspective so that we can teach our kids to be proud, teach them how to carry themselves? Because see, this is where people like Saneter are profiting. They are accusing the words in the Bible to stir up people in opposition. Make them in opposition to the Bible. So now they won't follow. And there's a lot of good things in the Bible that today we can use. They're going to disregard everything. So now they don't believe in nothing. I can't trust somebody that don't believe in nothing. That means you got no honor code. You already seeing it now on the street. These ranchers don't have an honor code. They'll kill you as fast as they look at you. They'll kill their brother as fast as they look at him. They'll kill their sister as fast as they look at him. There's no honor. Look how they treat the old people. Ah, you old bastard. Ah, you old. I take your old. Look how they treat the elderly. That would never happen in days before. But as we water down the religion and start making our own versions of it, All I'm saying is, why not make one? Why can't we get the best scholars together and make us one Bible and we all follow it? Why can't we do that? And while they in there, they can fix some of them contradictions. Because you're blaming a product that a king made to get his people on one accord. Why can't we? You know, we talk all the time about how the Catholics brought in all these pagan rituals they had a big empire and they wanted everybody to get along. They brought in a lot of stuff. Why can't we get scholars to take that stuff back out? Why is that so hard to do? Tony says, the rabbinical scholars changed their Torah, resembling the Talmud. The driver says, you don't know how much a sermon means to me. I wish more people was watching it. Because all we doing is just divide and conquer. He's naming you certain things out of the Bible, but he ain't telling you things in the Bible that's right. He only talking about, well, this don't make any sense. Well, if you really want to teach the people, instead of y'all trying to debate and try to tear each other down, because that's what they do on your platform. Yeah, I'm putting you in a body bag. Yeah, I'm going to show you up in front of the people. Does that sound like the work of God, or does that sound like the work of the devil? Because it sounds like you're opposing. Who is the opposer? Satan. Sound like you're accusing. Who's the accuser? Satan. How does he do it? By putting things in your mind that make you go astray. I'll give you an example. If you got a young man and he grew up in the church and he got so good with the word that he was actually, instead of sitting in Bible study, he was actually running it, right? He go off to college, right? He get around all these people, these feminists. He get around all these different people, atheists. They start beating him upside the head. Well, how can you believe in that silly book? Evolution. Science just kills the Bible. Well, how can you believe? Let me take you here. When that boy come back to his town after graduating, all of a sudden, he don't go to church no more. He don't believe. Because he ain't went. And the devil done beat him up so bad that he don't even feel confident. He went in there a believer. Came back out an atheist. Went in there a believer. And y'all know it's a lot of radical professors, and y'all hear about it all the time. Yeah, my professor trying to tell me this, trying to tell me that. Trying to make me believe. Failing me. Because I won't believe what he trying to get me to believe. That's the work of the devil. And you trying to divide the people. Somebody that's of God is trying to unify the people, not divide them. That's why I would say to the Muslims. Come sit down at the table. To the black Israelites, come sit down at the table. To the Protestants, the Baptists, the evangelicals, let's come sit down at the table. Send a representative that's fluent. And let's dissect these scriptures, and let's also get those lost scrolls that were taken out. There's a lot that was taken out of the Bible because it didn't fit the narrative. And this is why I tell you I'm shaky with the New Testament. Because Jesus said that he came for the Israelites. The New Testament says he came for everybody. So Paul is saying everybody, and Jesus is saying I came for the Israelites. Something ain't working. So maybe King James people did change it to uphold that narrative that everybody going to heaven. So where are the people in the world? Where are the people in the world to say, let's go look at these things that were taken out and put them back in? Because it does seem like the New Testament is saying that Gentiles are going too. Who was the Gentile? Who was the Israelite? Why can't we go get the scriptures and find out what was said instead of just it's contradictory? I don't think some of that sound right. Everybody can't go. If God had chosen people, now you saying because in Kings and Samuels they didn't do what God said, so now God has offered it to everybody. And everybody welcome. That's what the New Testament says. Everybody welcome. All you got to do is just say you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and there you go. There you go. That just seemed too easy. That just seemed too easy. Now y'all can tell me in the chat, does that sound right to y'all? All you gotta do is say, I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. There you go. You ain't gotta do nothing else. But when I go to church, that's why I don't go no more. That's what they preaching. You ain't gotta put no other work in. The things that you're required to do to earn that get put in the background. See, I don't want to tell you that, God don't want you to shave your beard. I don't want to tell you God don't want you to cut your hair. I don't want to tell you God don't want you to get no tattoos. Because they're going to tell you that Jesus Christ came to do away with the law. That's what they teaching, that Jesus came to do away with the law. Even though he said out of his own mouth, I came to enforce the law. So how can you throw away Deuteronomy and Leviticus when Jesus said, I came to enforce that? But I've been told by many a preacher that because you believe in Jesus now, you don't need those laws. This is what God wanted you to do, but you don't need it. Nah, you can do away with the first 10 books. Just focus on the New Testament. And that's what they do. But they dance around that too. There are some scriptures that will never make it into a sermon. Because it make the people feel bad because they're doing wrong. And when you feel bad, guess what? You don't put no money in that plate. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this. When I say, I'm never coming here again. I do believe one religion would benefit humankind. But right now, the people that's at the bottom, it will help them the most. To get respect, to get pride. Our children don't have no pride. Everywhere they go, they're a joke. I've said this several times. Y'all know that I watched the last season of American Idol. To the last half an hour of the finale. I don't know who won. Don't tell me. I'll go back and watch it. But in order for a Korean, a black, a Mexican, an Indian to win American Idol, you must get white folk to vote for you. You got to depend on them being honest with themselves and saying, even though that's my girl, Anna over there, she ain't as good as Humbuktu. Humbuktu is just rocking it. But you know what? Humbuktu is better. But I got to go with my girl. My girl, she looks like me. We went to the same school. We watched the same movie. You're actually depending on other people to be fair and hope that they can leave their own prejudices. Because in reality, you want to see your idol supposed to look like you. But we have to depend on the mercy, the fairness. And let's be honest, a lot of white people are fair. You say what you want to say. Because that was the case, nobody of any race would win anything. But they can say, I don't care how good you are, you're still black, yeah. Why don't you go back to India? They can do that, but they don't. And for you to win, you must be damn good. Because you got them to vote for somebody that don't look like them. But whenever we go look for a job, just like I told you, I lost to the white military man. But he was in the military. It didn't bother me. They were fair. I thought I was more qualified, but he was in the military. Can't get more. I can't fight that. I can't say, y'all racist. Y'all wasn't. The man was in the military. Why would you not want a military man on your armored car? Now, if I was in the military and he wasn't, then I could say, hey, I got the, you understand what I'm saying? But as we go, and this is where I lose you, and when you talk about white supremacy, you have to keep going there to get something. Why can't you go to your own people and get something? Be respectable, and then say, I'm on your level. Come vote for me because I'm good. Don't vote for me because you feel sorry for me. Don't hire me because you feel sorry for me. Don't hire me because the government said, well, you got to at least have one mayor. If we all was on the same page, none of that would matter. We all had the same religion, none of that would matter. We all believe the same thing. none of that would matter. So you don't want to have one religion and be on the same page that way. But when it comes to getting them contracts, when it comes to getting them jobs, now all of a sudden you want everybody to be on the same page. You want somebody to say, well, even though that Asian man is smarter than my son, I should hire that Asian man instead of my son. And I'm watching my son struggle to raise his family, and I ain't gave a job to somebody that don't look like me. So whenever somebody says white supremacy, I think of that. In order for you to have that nice job, there's somebody white in the trailer park that could have had that job. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you say they're not fair, if they were fair, you wouldn't have. They weren't fair, you wouldn't have nothing. There wouldn't be nobody black in the commercial. They could have their own family in the commercial. Whatever. There wouldn't be no black CEOs of any company. There wouldn't be no Denzel Washington. Why am I going to watch this black man when I could be watching Joe down the block? But if we had our own stuff, we could come and say, hey, we got some of the best here. We want to make an exchange. I want to hire 2 of your best, and I'm going to give you 2 of my best. And we're going to be, you're going to get the flavor. I'm going to be more well-balanced because I'm going to have 2 people from your company that know how you run things. You're going to have 2 people from my company. I'm going to be able to appeal to more of your people. You're going to be able to appeal more of mine. See, they already doing it, but we not. They already doing it. Yeah, come on, bring me an Asian on here. We going to market it. Come on, yeah, because I want to know what they think. Sure, come on. I can tell you right now, you're a black business owner and you hire somebody white to be a salesperson. See how fast the black folk tell you. You hire somebody white, you hire somebody black. How you gonna hire somebody white? How you gonna hire somebody Chinese? You gonna hire some Korean? Why you ain't hire somebody black? But we expect everybody else to do that. See how things come full circle. I can tell you right now, we used to have American Idol parties. And everybody would vote for whoever the black person was. Just because they were black. Even if they could, they suck. I'd be like, you know what? That white dude brought it. Oh, shut up. So, we not willing to do it, but we want everybody else to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Are y'all following what I'm saying? We not willing to do what we ask everybody else to do. Why is it that we want to go, and this is something I dealt with growing up. Why is it that we want to go be in that school instead of creating our own? Why do we want to go be in that lounge or that club instead of our own? Why we always want to go work for them instead of having our own and letting people come see what we can do instead of us always running to them? Why is it when I say that people tell me I'm talking stupid? Why can't we have pride? Instead of just being, on the bottom looking for a hand up. Why should every black, Chinese, Korean kid that's in college right now, what's their goal? Their goal is to come out and get hired by the same white supremacists you tell them to hate. You know how retarded that sounds? Yeah, I'm gonna try and get me a job with such and such. But then when you get around your people, yeah, man, that company's so damn crooked. They don't do nothing for black people. They ain't nothing. But you trying to get a job there. You know how dumb that sounds? I'm just asking. You kicking somebody in the groin and kicking them in the hiney at the same time. You gotta pick one. You can't kick them both. You can't kick them in the front and the back at the same time. You gotta pick one. So you can't sit there and say, well, God darn it, they got everything, but then you want a part of that everything. It would even be better if you said, you know what? I don't know how to run a company. Let's go work for these people. Learn how to run a company. And then we'll come back and start our own. Nah. Fact of the matter is, you don't want to run the company. You'll run somebody else's. But you know how evil, how destructive your black customer's gonna be. You don't want to deal with that. So you don't want to own the store. You just want to manage it. So that when they come in there and do all the stealing and they come in there and get the lawsuits and get beat up by the employees, and you don't want no part of that. So you letting other people come into your community and make money that you should be keeping in the community, and they taking it out because you don't want to put the work in. But you'll sit around and blame people who do come in. I feel sorry for a lot of them Koreans. They come over to on the boat, they ain't paid that, they earning their keep. To get into the United States and to go through the customs and to go through the things you gotta do to get a pass to come over here, some of them have to work 10 or 11 years before they can do their own thing. And they spend them with the worst of the ratchets. But they do it. And then once they finally can save up and get their own store, guess what? They still got to deal with you. Except now, before you was working, now you the owner. And now they coming in there trying to tear your stuff up. But they do it. And they make it work. Or we sit on the sideline, yeah, you need to go back to Korea. You need to go back to Japan. What are you here for? Get out my neighborhood. Why you always coming out of neighborhood? They willing to do what you ain't willing to do. But you want to beat them up for it. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me what I said was wrong. Get out of my neighborhood. They get out your neighborhood, you ain't got nothing. Because your own people won't open the store up. Because they know They don't want the headache. They trying to open up a store in the boonies. The people that got the money to buy nice things are not going to stay in the neighborhood and buy something. They're going to go out to the boonies. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. And the sad part is, they don't want you out there. But the government said they got to wait on you. They don't want you out there. But they got to put up with you. Their heart must drop when they see y'all coming in there, coming in there acting a damn fool. Their hearts must drop. Like, oh, Lord. Because in the old days, everybody ain't had no car. You could go out to the suburbs and do your shopping. You wasn't going to see no ratchets out there. They couldn't get out there. Problem is, the well-to-do kids don't want to work at McDonald's. They don't want to work at Burger King. They don't want to work no Old Navy. They don't want to work no Walmart. They don't want to work no Target. So guess what? You start bringing in people from the city. I can tell you, if you work at a city McDonald's, you might can get minimum wage. If you bargain, you might can get 30 cents above. But if you willing to ride out to the boonies, they'll pay your cab ride out there. They'll give you another $1 and something an hour to work. You know why? Because them stores do 3 times the money that the stores do in the city. But the kids don't want to work there. And they'll pay you. They'll put you in a cab and bring you out there. And put you in a cab and send you home. And give you $1 something more an hour. So now you got the inner city stores are losing employees. And then you wonder why you're seeing more and more foreigners in the stores. You wonder why you only seeing the ratchets in those city stores. Why we got all these videos. Because all the good people are doing what? They being migrated out to the boonies. And the inner city is being left with the trash. And when you go into an inner city restaurant, you dealing with the trash. Because, trust me, if they could go out to the boonies, they would. If the boonies would take them, they'd be gone. They wouldn't be sitting here making minimum wage when they could be out there making better money. And they get a cab ride out there. They pay for your transportation to get out there. They'll come pick you up. So every time you go into a city, franchise, or anything, keep that in mind when you walk in the door. There's a chance you might see a fight. There's a chance you might see somebody quit on the spot. Good chances are. Those are people that's too ignorant to get hired out there, or that's fresh out of jail, or that's on a jail work release program. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? When you don't take an honest look at yourself and your surroundings, but you just ignore what you see in front of you, and you get together with other people who ignore what they see in front of them, and you moan and you groan and you complain, you're not going to get anywhere. Because moaning and groaning don't get you nothing. I remember I used to work at this nice company. It was nice. I ain't gonna lie, it was nice. And I felt lucky to be there. And people would say, you know, you stay behind. Why you always stay behind? They're not paying you to stay behind. I'd be like, if I didn't think the job I did was good enough in the time frame they gave me, I would stay behind. Not to kiss up, but I appreciated the opportunity to be there. Ah, you crazy. As soon as that thing go, woo, I'm out of there. It's time to go. And I'd be like, your stuff half done. Yeah, I'll get it tomorrow when they paying me. And then, you know, a couple months go by and that person ain't there no more. And then you see them. And they out on the corner. And you say, hey, what happened to you? I ain't seen you work no more. They fired me. Huh? Yeah, they fired me. Them daggone racists. They said my work wasn't good enough. Yeah, they come over here. I'm like, well, didn't we talk about that? And they get the dumbest look on their face. And they go, you still there, ain't you? I said, yeah, I'm still there. And you can see they almost want to kill you. Because you know the minute you walk off, how the hell his fat butt still there? I'd basically get if he was. That's why we don't get nowhere. That's why we're at the bottom. We're going to stay at the bottom. As long as we keep these same attitudes. You trying to make me feel bad. We're doing things to make them say, you know what? We're going to keep him around. Because if my own people ain't going to make a place for me, I got to go work for somebody else. I got to make the best of it. Maybe one day I'll get an opportunity to run something of my own. But until then, I'm going to give 100%. 100% of what I can give. And the goal is to have something of my own. The goal is not to work for somebody for the rest of your life. The goal is to work up to a point where you could put your stuff together with somebody else and y'all get your own business. That should be your goal, no matter what you're doing. But if your goal is to sit up under somebody for the rest of your life, you can't complain every day for the rest of your life. You being held back. You not being allowed to get it. You ain't trying to do nothing. How you complain when you ain't doing nothing? I could put the extra effort out there, but you know, it ain't working. And then it don't work out. Then what you got? You got nothing. That's all I'm saying. Instead of spending time trying to contradict everything, instead of spending time trying to stir up trouble, spend time on yourself, on self-reflection. What can I do today? What can we do right now? Instead of saying what we ain't got, how can we maximize what we do have? Fact of the matter is, it's easier. A lot of people going to disagree with me. If you're a minority, it's easier for you to create a booming business. You know why? Because nobody's making anything. Nobody's doing anything. So the market is wide open. Nobody's making black dandruff shampoo. Why can't you start a company? The majority of people that own businesses, I say it time and time again, they are barbershop and hair salon owners. Why are you not making products geared toward them? Because black people are buyers. We're buyers. We buy. As soon as we get some money, we off to go shop. So why can't we get that money and keep it in the community? Start opening nice stores up. Let not people come in there and shop. Why they got to travel 4 or 5 miles? They got to travel to get away from you to go do their shopping. Well, they taking that money 4, 5, 6 miles away from the community, and it's not coming back. Why not start opening stores that we need and making it cool to shop there? So instead of worrying about having Nordstrom on the bag, instead of worrying about having Toys R Us Kids, having Old Navy on the bag, why can't we have something from our community on the bag and go around waving that and making people say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go there? Why can't we do that? You know, why can't we stop fighting with each other when we do it? But my store got to be bigger than yours, and I got to be. Right now, the market is wide open. We're not making anything. You can tell me about we got barbershop, we got hair salon. You can tell me that we actually got lawn care services and things like that. That's not making anything. In order for you to run those businesses, you need tools and supplies. We need to start making that. Instead, you got other people making stuff for you because you won't do it. When you get the head and shoulders and it does nothing for your head, you complain about it. Why not make a Head and Shoulders? When you use the razors, and the reason why I'm waiting until tomorrow morning to shave, my hair go back fast. I got a 2 o'clock appointment tomorrow, so I'm probably going to shave about 10 o'clock. And my face get irritated. The irritation will go away by noon. But what if they made a razor for our skin where you wouldn't get those irritation bumps? Just small things. You know that black men that's balding shave their heads bald. Why don't we have a whole line of razors for everybody's particular skin? There are a few companies They kind of make them for us, but I still get cuts in my head from them. Why ain't somebody making a razor that I can shave my head and never get cut? I'm just saying, if it's 5 million, I'm just giving a number. If it's 5 million black men in the country, and you make a razor for them, and you can get 2 million of them to buy 6 razors a year, how much money is that? Right now, that money going to Gillette. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So stop worrying about trying to find contradictions in the Bible. Because for every contradiction you find in the Bible, I can give you 30 things to go look for that you could use right now that will help your life out. So let's just stop that. Because it's really silly. If you in touch with your Holy Spirit, you should be able to look at a scripture and automatically decipher it. Not just what it's written there, but what it means in total context. If you're only looking at what's written, you don't know what you read. You'll hear me say sometimes, this scripture doesn't need to be broken down. And some scriptures we'll spend 5 minutes on. Some things you can read, you don't have to break down. Some things you have to. Just like I told you my favorite scripture. Sometimes the stone that the builders rejected is now the cornerstone of the foundation. But if you don't analyze the scripture, you don't know what it means. And I've told y'all several times. The pretty stones are usually the statue in front of the building. The pretty stones usually frame the mosaic glass of a building. When you walk up the steps, you look at, oh, that looks nice. But when you walk through that door, all that don't matter. Them pretty stones ain't gonna keep that roof from crashing on your head. When you go upstairs, them pretty stones ain't gonna keep your upstairs from coming down your downstairs. When the rain comes, the snow comes, the earthquake comes, them pretty stones ain't gonna keep that building up. You need them big old ugly stones. Because them big old ugly stones make great foundations. You ain't got a good foundation, your building will not stand. So don't tell me about how pretty those stones outside are. When you come inside and sit down, you want to be confident that ceiling won't be on your head. So that stone that was rejected is more important than those pretty stones they saw at the beginning. I'll give you another example. There was a woman and she and I were both looking for cars. Every car that had pretty lights on it, that had pretty ornaments on it, she wanted to buy it. And I would ask her, Miss, you keep looking at all the pretty lights and stuff. What are you going to use it for? Oh, I'm going to use it to take my kids around. Well, you know, every car you look at is not for everyday use. They're not dependable. They don't have good engines. Why don't you look at something like this? Excellent engine. Don't nobody see the engine. I want everybody to see how pretty it is. And I said to her, ma'am, every car you looked at, every consumer magazine says the engines is trash. They're just pretty to look at. So you're going to be looking pretty on the side of the road every couple months. When you can get something with a good dependable engine that's going to run you and last you. But you worrying about how the outside look. I don't care how pretty the car is. If every time you turn around, somebody driving by you in the car that's not as pretty and laughing at you because you on the side of the road, how pretty you gonna feel then? Give me the car with the good engine and transmission. I said transmission. Because your engine and your transmission are your two most important pieces of the car. Don't tell me how pretty the car is. How dependable is the car? I don't want to be at the mechanic shop every other weekend just so I can look good. I look good when I'm going and doing what I need to do. And people see the car parked out front of the house every day instead of it being parked at the mechanic shop every day. You worrying about how it looked. Then before you came to the dealership, you should have typed online, what's the prettiest car with the most dependable engine and transmission? Then you would have had a list to come look. You just going by the looks. Well, I like how this look. I can tell you something right now. I bought a car knowing it was a piece of junk because I couldn't afford one back in the day. And man, that thing gave me the hell. I keep that thing on the road. I finally had to give it up. The city took it. I had to give it up. But while I was in it, I felt like a young man. Because I couldn't afford it back then. I was 19 years old when that car came out. And I'm trying to drive it at 38. You know that car wasn't no good. But God darn it, I ain't gonna try and front, boy. It was an old Lex, but I was flexing. I got my flex on. That thing wasn't nothing but a daggone money pit. But I kept putting it back on the road because I loved it. Was it smart? Nope, because the car I gave it up for was a daggone Cavalier. That Cavalier ain't give me no problem. Had that Cavalier for years in the snow and the rain. That thing did. And people would say, you know, you too fat for that car. And I sold that car to the junkyard for $300. That car took me all over this great state. Took me on so many dates. I used to have I had the Raven lights. I had so many lights on that car. What? Raven flag on there, Oreo flag on there, Miami Heat flag on there. People used to make so much fun of me. We was everywhere in that car. People would know me just by the car. And just to get something I thought was more upscale, I gave that dependable car up. I sat there and bought that car, and I took it right to the tire place because I knew there was a guy there, and this guy used to work for the Maryland. He used to work for the Maryland inspection station. I said, "Sir, I know you are an old Maryland technician. I want you to look at this car. Well, I got the money. Tell me everything that will not get passed on this car right now and fix it." And he did. I spent about $700. Did you know I should have got it inspected right there? But I didn't. Like a dummy, I went and got it inspected because I was living in Brooklyn. I got it inspected. When you get to Brooklyn, you start to get into like, how can I say it? I'm not in the city no more. But it's a lot of blue collar people out there. This mechanic tried to get me to fix something. When I showed him, I had it done already. He came back and said something else for the same price, trying to get me to spend $300. I said, "Sir, I just spent $700 getting this car fixed up." Then I went to another place. They tried to get me to do $500 worth of work. See, in Maryland, you gotta get an inspection sticker before you can get tags. I said, "Sir, this stuff's already done. Look." It don't matter. So he gave me something else to do. I went and got a shade-free mechanic to do the things he said. I brought the car back. I said, "Sir, need my inspection sticker." He goes, "Well, I didn't get to make any money." I said, "Sir, I fixed what you said. I've taken it 2 places now and 2 different people and told me to fix things that I already had fixed on the car the day before. I just got this car. Took it to a man that used to do this. He went over everything on that list and fixed it. So you should have gave me a clean bill of health, but you didn't." I went to the first person. I went to the second person. You the second person. Y'all want a lawsuit? I said, "Sir, give me my sticker or just pick something." And he goes, "Well, you need 2 back tires and your front caliper." I said, "Sir, I was at a tire place where I got the man to do the car the first time. You think he not gonna say, 'Hey, you need some tires'? It's a tire place. They do other stuff, but they focus on tires. He not gonna tell me to get a tire? When I told him, go for what you know, I didn't give him I told him, go for what you know. What does the car need? Now, what I should have done was got the inspection done there. That's what I should have done. I didn't think of it. So the guy goes, "Well, go ahead and let me put 2 new tires on the back and let me fix the brake caliper and that'll be $150 and I'll give you the sticker." I was like, "All right, man, whatever." Trying to get me to pay $500 for work I already had done. Another person tried to get me to pay $250 work I already had done. Then I told the guy that the work already been done and showed it to him. Then he gonna say, "Well, get this done." I go get somebody else to do it. Cheap. Then I come back to him and say it's done. Give him a sticker. Well, I gotta make some money. Well, why you got to make money? Your job is to inspect the cars and give an honest evaluation over what the state told you to do. The state didn't say you got to make money. If the car's in great shape, you gotta say it's in great shape. When I got to make something, no, you did make something. You charged me $80 just to look at the car. You charge me $80 just to look at the car and try to figure out what's wrong. Now you want to try and charge me another $500? That's a scam. And I wonder if the state know that the mechanics is scamming the people. They don't care. They probably don't care. Because they don't want you to be able to get on the road. They want you on the bus, giving them money. They want you riding a cab so they can start charging the commission fees on them cabs. They want you to. They don't want you in the car. They want you on the train, the subway. They want to make that money. They make it hard. Driving tests. You just can't get your... My license is up for renewal. On my birthday, the 29th of this month. My license is up for renewal. Used to cost $25 to get your license. Then it went to $30. Now it is $50. If I don't pay this $50, it costs about $400 to get your license now. You had to log, I think it's 40 hours on the road with somebody in the front seat with a license, experienced driver. They now have driving schools where you go get these 40 hours and you gotta take these tests now. You don't just take the test and go get in the car and show you can handle it and go. You got to go to school for months now. They have taken it and made it a career. How many black driving schools do you think there are? Not many. But that's money there. But they created a whole new line to get your license. You got to kick out some doski. You won't spend about $500, $600, $700 to get your license now. Whereas before, you know how I got mine? I paid people $10 an hour to let me drive that car. Then I paid a driving school. I didn't go to the driving school. I paid them to let me use their car. And it didn't have a passenger rear view mirror on it. And so every car I had practiced in the park had that mirror. Car didn't have that mirror. I finally paid my grandmother. Let me use her Camry. I was struggling with the parking. I looked over and I didn't see my grandmother. When I tried it the second time, I saw my grandmother and I stopped the car and she said, "Drive on." I said, "Ah!" Now, it's going to cost you $600 to $1,200, especially if you're young and dumb. Ooh, child. They're going to get you. You have to get a driver's license. If I don't pay this $50, say I do get a car, I'm not going to be able to drive it. So I'm kind of boxed in. I really don't want to spend $50. But it's for 8 years instead of 4. So I really don't want to spend $50 on a driver because I ain't got no car. But how you know? I got an e-bike over there. How I know somebody won't bless me with a car? If they do, it's going to sit there because I can't drive it. I had to turn it down. So, much as I don't want to, I'm going to have to kick out the doski. Do I want to? No. But I'm going to have to kick it out because you don't know what the future holds. I don't know what God got planned for me. And it'd be crazy if I didn't do anything. But already, y'all, I ain't gone on for almost 2 hours. I had some things bookmarked here. Yeah, I didn't need them. But the title of today's sermon was going to be Troublemakers. And we had to shift it because of Saneter TV. We had to shift it. But the title was Troublemakers. And I was going to ask, go sit down. What makes people want to cause trouble? What makes people want to start division among others? What makes people just out the blue try to disrupt everything that's flowing so well? And the problem is they listening to the devil's frequency. And it's breaking down their faith, their trust, their respect for Jesus and God, little by little. And they try to spread that like a cancer, like a cold or a flu to the people around them. And a lot of times they are successful. I'm really upset with Amazon because I ordered something. And they promised it'd be here today. And I just looked, and now it's saying tomorrow. I don't like that. When you overpay for something so you can get it the next day, and they lie to you, and then the next day come and they tell you tomorrow, if it comes tomorrow afternoon, I won't be here. That's why I paid the extra money, because we're going to be at the doctor's tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to be at the doctor's. If I have to sit here because I don't know if it's coming through Amazon, one of their drivers going to drop it off, or is it coming through the mail? It doesn't say. It ain't even shipped yet. Something that's supposed to have been here today hasn't even shipped yet. I should call and cancel it. But it's still a pretty good deal. I know I'm not going to be able to get 220 pieces for $27. Not at Walmart, not at Walgreens, not at Rite Aid. So even though I'm still paying too much, I was paying too much to get it next day. Today is the next day. Now when I call them, they're going to say, we meant the next business day. No, it said next day. That's why I hit next day. That's not the next day. That's the next business day. Monday is the next business day. I didn't hit business day. I hit day. You supposed to deliver it. So I'm not happy about the fact that I just kicked out that money. And I'm probably going to have to buy something while we're out tomorrow and spend more money, because chances are that person is not going to get it delivered until we sitting in the doctor's office, I guarantee you. Now, the phone, the mail lady came 3 hours early. And the woman wouldn't, my neighbor wouldn't answer the phone. So I was really getting nervous. Finally, she texted back and she said, yeah, I got your package. I'll give it to you when I get home. I was getting ready to go out the door. So now, I'm waiting. I'm not going nowhere. I'm waiting because I'm expecting her to come home. 5 hours go by. Finally, I call her again. Hey, did you get home yet? Because I need this for my show. And finally, she called back and she said, I'm home. So I go get the package. And I give her $6 because I appreciate it. If it had been left on the step, somebody would have got it, and we wouldn't have had our phone. Now, she already owed me a box of gum. Which I shouldn't have had to just kick out $27 for something that I paid for already. But then still, I said, you know what? I knew, that's why I went out there early. I knew the devil was going to make sure she get that package. But I said, you know what? I'm going to show you up, devil. I'm going to give her $6. It's the only money I had on me. I gave her the $6. And she goes, yeah, you know, my doctor didn't put the prescription in. But I had that gum for you sometime next week. She ain't doing me a bit of good right now. Like I'm down to my last sleeve. But I went on, like I said, if she'd have opened the box up, we had 4 cases in there. We had 3 different batteries and the phone. Hey, I appreciate it. But it came in a big box. I was like, whoa. That wouldn't have fit in the mailbox no matter how you slice it. So now I'm gonna be sitting outside waiting, because if it don't come through the mail and it comes through Amazon, which means it comes through them, I don't know when it's gonna come. It can come anytime before 9 o'clock. So I'd really be upset if we go to the doctors and they leave it around front on the step and somebody walk off with it. Or even worse, that woman might get it, open it and see it's gum. She might take it out, put it in a plastic bag and say, hey, here's your gum. And give me my same gum I just paid for. I know that sounds crazy. But anyway, we got our topic for the day was, what causes people to be disruptive and to do ignorant things? What's the cause? So I had downloaded some scriptures. So let's dissect them. I'm going to ask the Holy Spirit what he thinks, and we will dissect away. A worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech, winks with his eyes, signals with his feet, points with his finger, with perverted heart devises evil, continually sowing discord. Therefore, a calamity will come upon him suddenly. In a moment, he will be broken beyond healing. There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him. This verse right here, it's a proverb. Just broke down. What we talk about when we watch the videos. And I tell you, look how the person moving. Look how they looking around. They waiting for an opportunity to do something. It's right here in this old scripture. This scripture from thousands of years ago just covered that whole thing. A worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech. Crooked speech means the same way we talked about the contradiction. Crooked man could take any phrase and make it sound the way he wanted to sound. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to make it sound negative to bolster his argument. And it's usually to make an argument to convince people to do something they know is wrong. Winks with his eyes. I say looking around with the eyes. See if anybody looking. See if somebody about to see what they about to do. Signals with his feet. You can tell by the movement. The sudden jitterous movement. Like a panther waiting to strike. You can tell they about to do something. Points with his finger to get you to look at one thing while he take or change around something else. A perverted heart that devises evil. Always coming up with new ways to get over. New ways to cheat people. New ways to confuse things. Continually sowing discord. Breaking down any rhythm, any system, any structure that's set in a positive way. They got to cut it, break it down, erase it, erode it to fit the agenda that they have at that particular moment. Now it says, calamity will come upon him suddenly. That person is going to be living good, and you're going to be jealous of him, and then you're going to see him fall. And they're going to fall hard. And they're going to spend the rest of their life trying to recover, and they're never going to recover. They're going to spend the rest of their life recovering, but they'll never get back to where they was. That reminds me of something else that Saneter said. He pointed out a scripture where, I believe it was Elijah or Elisha, was walking up the mountain, and some young people. And I know if I look in the different scriptures, it's going to be young people, like 15 to 19, right? Here it said kids. But they were laughing at the prophet and talking about looking at his bald head. And he turned and he cursed them. And it said that bears came out the woods and killed these 42 young people. And he was like, how could God be so evil like that to kill them kids? If those kids were there, they were there for a reason. It's the reason why that scripture is in the Bible. You ought to respect your elders. And you ought to respect those that have been given the certain touch by God. Those youths were created just for that very thing. They were created just for that very thing. And they might have been reincarnated into something else. Why do we think we're not expendable? I've never understood that. Why do we think we're not expendable? The evil people who drowned in the great flood, were they not expendable to God? The people of Sodom and Gomorrah, that he put both cities to an ash. Were them people not expendable? The 1,000 firstborn that would die with the with the Egyptians. And the 1,000 firstborn that died. And he was looking for Jesus. Were them babies not expendable? Every time a plane go down and 300 people die, the next day we get on the plane anyway. All those people are not expendable. A gas explosion takes out a house and everybody in it. So does that mean we shouldn't have no gas in our house? Firework explosion. We covered several of them, several accidents, and several other factories that actually shooting off fireworks. Did that stop people from shooting off fireworks this year? No, it didn't. So, we can make people expendable, but God can't. We can make people expendable, but God can't. There ain't nowhere in the Bible where it says somebody should lay down in the street and let the cars run over them. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that we should go bungee jumping. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that we should go jump out of an airplane and play the parachute open. But we risking our own lives for a feeling. The Bible doesn't teach you to do anything thrill seeking because your children will get hooked on it. And they'll spend the rest of their lives trying to get that feeling of adrenaline. They'll try to get that feeling back. The same way you got people who in the late 80s used to have somebody choke them as they approach orgasm. Or lock themselves in a garage and let the carbon monoxide and hope they could get off before the monoxide would kill them. You start to get people used to certain things. Well, back then, the youth supposed to stay in line. He used the youth to make an example of everybody. But those youths were created for that purpose. Those firstborns were created for that purpose. If he has the ability to create, why he don't have the ability to take his creations back? How does that make him mean? If we both countries and we get along and we get into a war, you gonna send your soldiers over, I'm gonna send my soldiers out to fight our common enemy. If we become enemies while we fighting the common enemy, I might pull my soldiers back, which might allow your soldiers to get slaughtered. I knew what I was doing before I did it. But in my mind, I was thinking, I gotta do it before he do it. Because chances are the other person would have done it. And got my soldiers slaughtered. So it's okay for me to do that, but the man who created everything can't. Why do we keep questioning God and his authority? Why do we keep putting our values today against his values of that time period? Why do we keep putting our values today? When the Egyptians were beating and murdering the Israelites, it wasn't no problem. But when God put the 7 seals on them, it was a problem. When Pharaoh said the people can go, and then he sent their soldiers to pin them against the Red Sea. Nobody talks about that evil. But the Lord parted the sea and allowed the people to cross and then drown the Egyptian soldiers. They had no business being there. You want to get on guard for that. When God is leading these people around the desert, trying to get them to the promised land, and all they doing is moaning and groaning, to the point that he said, you know what, I don't even want to take you. I believe he kept Moses up on that mountain for 40 days to test the people. I don't think he wanted to take them. He knew what they were going to do. They had been moaning and groaning the whole time. He didn't expect Moses to come down there and act like they're going to fool and start killing people to break the tablets. He had to come up there and redo them. He wasn't happy about that. He said, you know what? Ain't none of y'all going. And he made them wander around the desert till they all died off. And the children went. Even Moses didn't get to go. Joshua let him. Then they went to go get the land of milk and honey. Somebody else was living there. Well, they ain't supposed to kill the people. If God wanted a fresh start, and he had them walk around for 40 years and kill off the whole generation, so that he got all new fresh minds, why would he want you to leave a heathen around? He said destroy everything and everybody, including the kids, which was smart. Somebody said, oh, but you're not supposed to kill the kids. Well, them kids grow up there and reinfect the new people you're trying to start. Why the heck would you want to keep them around? You're not supposed to kill the kids. You got to let me understand. Them kids have been taught to do evil things. You trying to start over again. Why would you want some heathens among you? Now, when they got to some places, there were people that were related to them. And God said you can't touch them. But don't take their ways. So when somebody say, oh, and he said you supposed to kill everybody. Well, some of them people that were related to. And them people got the option to stay where you at or come join us. But you gotta leave that crap behind. No hour 3, none of that stuff. But they were their relatives. They had the option. 9 times out of 10, they couldn't take it. No, that's okay. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead, y'all. You know, we'll be your allies. And then you need something, let us know what we can't live like this. And there you go. But why would you want to let? Y'all remember the old Japanese and the old karate movies where the villain would kill the hero and then his son would grow up and the son would come and kill the villain and his son. So why would you want to take the sons of the men you just killed so they can grow up and try to get revenge on you? They're not going to forget. You got to take them out. They're not going to forget. That's why he said clean house. That make him a mean God. Purpose of him trying to clean house, won't let the same dirt back in. Why am I going to sweep the floor and then put the dirt back on the floor? We covered in Revelations a couple of weeks ago how 1/3 of the people are going to die off, another third going to die off, and then it's going to be the final battle. And the people that's not chosen are going to go off. They're going to die off in that final battle, and the devil will be locked up for 1,000 years. Jesus is going to come with the people that made it. Only 144,000 are actually going to go up to heaven. But there's going to be a new earth. And Jesus is going to rule it for 1,000 years. And the devil's still going to come take daggone 1/3 of the people. You know how crazy that is. The man going to be hands on for 1,000 years. And we still going to let the devil come back. The people that make it through this second battle, but then all the people that are going to die. Is it fair? Yes, because you've been told what you need to do. So why aren't you doing it? You've been told what you need to do. You the one that's not doing it. They're not doing that job. You ain't doing your job. So you can't bitch and moan. You know what needs to be done, and you said, I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what needs to be done, but you said, I'm going to do what I want to do. So, is he evil for taking you out? Nope. I can't tell that man what to do with this creation. Man said women are not to wear pants. Anything that show their curves. Ain't women wearing pants? G-string, out there twerking. You ain't supposed to show nothing. But yeah, they're doing it. Like I said, we ain't supposed to shave. All our clothes are supposed to have tassels. Fringes at the end of them. You doing that? Nope. So if you're not doing what God asks you to do, well, why do you expect to get benefits? Why do you expect to be blessed and holy? What you do, you expect it. That's what's gonna get you in trouble. You got the devil telling you what he think you should do. Or he telling you what you want to hear. So that you can do what you want to do. People trying to water down the scripture, water down the values, make a mockery of everything, make a joke out of everything. Comedian can't be funny without being vulgar and cursing. You ain't ignorant, you boring. If you on YouTube, you ain't cussing somebody out or making fun of somebody, oh, you're so boring. Who says it's boring? The devil does. And he got you saying it. And you think you doing something. Yeah, well, you know, I know that you've been doing it this way for a long time. But, you know, we should do it this way. Secretly, you want to do it that way because you want to make more money. And you're not going to share it with everybody else. But you want them to do it that way so you can make more money. Screw everybody else, right? But you want to hold Christians to a high standard, though. You ain't got to follow the rules. But you see somebody not following the rules, hey, you supposed to be a Christian. So you get to do whatever you want to do. If somebody else even think of doing it that way, you want to hold them back. Now you want to hold them back. You know, I'm taking everything you got. Or you going to fight me back? You're not going to let me take your stuff? I thought you was a Christian. And you supposed to turn the other cheek and let me take your stuff. Isn't that what being a Christian is? I thought you supposed to if a person come and take your coat, you supposed to give them a new coat too. And when you get another coat and they come by, you supposed to give them that coat too. And when you say you have to use your level of discernment in each case. Oh no, so you're not a real Christian. You're the real Christian. You let me come in here and take everything out your house. You let me take everything because you supposed to turn the other cheek. They ain't got to follow the rule, but they gonna hold you to the rule. They ain't gonna follow what God said, but they gonna hold God to everything He said. Do you see the hypocrisy? You see the BS? You see how the devil done got in their mind and making them think that what they saying actually makes sense. I don't have to follow the rules. But you have to follow me because you're a Christian. You got to do this. You locked in. Even though you know I'm taking advantage of you. You locked in. Because you're a Christian. You can't change your mind. If I'm sitting there and I notice that it's going to rain tomorrow, and all the weather people are saying it's going to be nice and sunny, and I know that we got an event going on at an open park, if I go out and get as many umbrellas as I can get, and I show up the next day, and I start selling umbrellas and people buying them, somebody gonna walk over, you know, why didn't you tell the people to bring an umbrella instead of going out here? You understand what I'm saying? And buying umbrellas and then you selling them to them. But I'm selling them to them at a fair price though. You selling them at twice the money. Well, yeah, I knew it was gonna rain too. So, you know, over there, you know, I'm selling them for $20 a piece. You only selling them for $5 a piece. I said, yeah, I'm being fair about it. Well, you's a Christian. You should have warned them all. Then how would you make your $20 then? You making $20 an umbrella. I'm only charging $5. They cost me $2 to buy, and for my trouble, I'm charging them $3 per umbrella. You're charging them $17 per umbrella. You making $17 per umbrella, but yet you got to come over here and get on me for making $5. You killing the people. You draining them financially. You bamboozling them. You working them over. But your father, the devil, still sending you over here to come terrorize me when I'm being fair. Some people are going to buy your $20 umbrella, even though I only got it for $5 over here. I'm not over there trying to tell them, hey, $5 right here, don't pay that $20. I ain't said nothing. But you got to come over here. You got to go out your way to come over. Even though you making $17 umbrella, I'm only making $3. You got to come over here and tell me, because I'm a Christian, I can't make anything. But you can bleed the people. You can gouge the people. You can bamboozle the people. And that's okay. But I'm supposed to be a Christian. I'm supposed to get the umbrellas away for free. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Troublemakers. Coming to a place that's seemingly running smoothly. They come in and throw a monkey wrench in the gears. Get everybody that's working together to work against each other, to fight each other, while they make money off the back end. As for a person who stirs up division, after warning him once and then twice, have nothing more to do with him. Whoa. As for a person that stirs up division, after warning him once and twice, have nothing more to do with him. That's self-explanatory. We ain't got to break that down. That's common sense. First time, you can turn your cheek. Second time. After that, use your level of discernment. Man, I ain't fooling with you. You up to no good. You ain't gonna need nothing to bring us down, man. We gotta leave you alone. Peace and blessing will go with you. We gotta leave you alone. Don't come look for me, I won't look for you. But you ever change your ways, we right here. There you go. Be sober-minded. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. That was always prowling around, looking for any weakness in your armor. And he's looking for a mental weakness, not a physical weakness. Because see, the devil can't do nothing to you himself. But he can get people around you to do things to you. He can go snitch to God and Jesus and pin them in because you're doing one thing wrong. You over there choking again? I told you to stop eating so much, man. Hold on a second, y'all. You need me to pat you on the back or something? Huh? You need me to pat you on the back or something? You stop eating so damn much, you be alright? Look at you. You throwing up, you didn't even eat all that. That stuff's still solid. That don't make no sense. But you eating like that. You didn't even break it down. You just swallowing it. That's what it's joking. So what you trying to eat? You can eat both. I can't put you in the wilderness. If you wouldn't survive. You throwing up food, somebody come right behind you and eat it. Like, Gina, I didn't eat this right. Let me go ahead and get my grease on. Animals will follow you around. We wait for you to throw up something. Alrighty, y'all. I'm back. Sorry about that. That's not the first time that this cat sat down. Literally ate us up to death. Alright, y'all. It's shipped. So let's see. Does it say how it's shipping? Oh, it's coming with Amazon. Oh, no. Oh, it's coming with Amazon, y'all. I'm in trouble. Oh, Lord. If it came by the mail, at least it will get here early. They're coming on Amazon, so I don't know when they're going to bring it. Can't worry about it. All right, is anybody still here? Cause I can go. I know Vic probably got the wrestling on. Is anybody still here? Oh Lord. Is anybody still here? Sit down, baby. I could go ahead and spend the $10. I can get the WWE myself. I don't need to watch it with him. Let me put the block on. Oh, it is on. Hold on, y'all.
He's still in the ring.
So is it over? It's only 7 o'clock.
Only one man who has stood the test of time. The Undertaker may be the dead man, but you are looking at a living legend.
All right, y'all. They're on the wrestling on an hour early. So, can't believe they had the Undertaker match with it. That should have been in the main event. Or at least in the middle of the card. Damn. I missed the Undertaker. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. I'm going to go watch the wrestling. I'll probably come back on later. I got some videos for us to look at if y'all still up. But I'm gonna go watch the wrestling. Hope y'all enjoyed today's show, and I will see y'all later on. You ready to go watch the wrestling here?